Good morning, everybody. Kyle Grumke here again at Grumke Farms. Right now, that's a pretty shot. Right now, I'm letting this herd of cows onto some of our multi-species cover crops we planted in July, August time period. And if you have seen the video on the Facebook page, we looked at this not quite even 30 days ago, and while it wasn't disappointing, it wasn't anything to really be excited about at that time. But the amazing thing is we finally got some heat unit days, and this cover crop took off. It is blowing my mind what is here. It's not as thick as I would like, but that bud is a big part of it. It grew. We grazed this last fall. Had a little bit more of your warm season covers in it. And cows are hollering for their calves to come with me. But we grazed this last fall, and really there wasn't a whole lot showing throughout the winter. We took it down a whole lot further than I normally would because with the drought we were short on feed, short on hay, and we were trying to make everything work so that we didn't have to reduce cow numbers any more than we already had. And I'm blown away with how this is growing this spring. This is going to be going into corn, and I'm just going to show you, we got some rye growing. We got a little bit of volunteer wheat right here. That's the volunteer wheat. Here's the one that surprises me. We got hairy vetch. I didn't even see the hairy vetch last fall. It was there. I knew it was in the mix, but I did not realize that it actually had emerged, because once we planted this, it did not have a lot of rain at all until wintertime. But if you look at like the wheat and the rye in here, it's a deep lush green. I think you can see that on the film. I just dated myself there. It's not hurting for nitrogen or nutrients. And if we was to pull it up, we can see where there's been some earthworm pathways. We've got some soil structure. We're a little plated, so we do have maybe some compaction issues. But look at the dirt hanging onto those roots. That's a fungal community. That is what is feeding the plants. And if I smell it, it smells like a good potato, which is a sign of healthy soil. These yellow ones, I think these are either radishes. I think this is a radish here. Yeah. And it grew back. Its tuber had rotted away, but it was enough alive to come back. And this will be some high quality forage. And this is a turnip right there. A little bit of crimson clover. Again, I didn't know that it had made it through the winter either. I'd pull you a veg plant, but without a shovel, they're a little hard to get out of the ground without breaking. There. I lost most of them, but you can see some nodules starting to form on the plant. Hairy vetch has a fairly good taproot type structure. So we've got several different plant families in here. We got brassicas, broadleafs. We got legumes right there with that and the hairy vetch. Those are going to be fixing nitrogen. We got some grasses. can see here. We got grasses, we got legumes, we got some of our brassicas. We also have what people call weeds. They're an indicator. So we had a little bit of henbit, which it helps release phosphorus. It's done did its thing. It's dying back. We've got pennycress. That's a volunteer plant. Not exactly sure what. I think this is a young pennycress plant. But this is going to be some very good feedstock for our cattle. We're going to do a lot of termination with livestock, and they have already went over the hill. They are checking out where the fence limits are. It is a beautiful Sunday morning. I don't know if you can hear it on the camera, but I'm hearing a lot of different birds coming out of the fence row here. That's a bit of a catch-22 for me. All my life, fence rows, they steal the moisture away from your main crop, but at the same time, if you want to have habitat for your birds, your quail, your other species, you got to have cover that they can be able to reside in. And you can see I've been working at trimming branches back so that they're not hitting the tractor, but it's just, you close your eyes and it feels good to be able to hear the different birds. This is an 80-acre farm with a couple of big waterways that run up, and you can see these trees in them. And then back over there where those cedars are is another big waterway. And a third one. And there's a lot of good brome grass growing up in that. They'll eat on that probably after the cover crops. I am going to put out a little bit of, I've got just, pardon me, I've been told that I move too fast with the camera, but I got a little bit of loose hay, came off a hay bale. I'm going to just dump out right here where they came through, and because I imagine they're going to come back if there was any calves left, and they can balance out their rumen a little bit with some dry matter. But I'm estimating we'll get a couple of weeks of grazing on here, which will be great. It will let the pastures have a chance to get some growth on it before we start eating them. After the last 2 years of really, we have overgrazed, not severely, but somewhat, just because plants weren't able to get quite the recovery that they needed before coming back. We're going to let the grass get a little taller this spring if we can before we move in here. I don't know if I can get this clover to pull out of the ground. No, it just breaks off. Ground is hard. It is very hard and very dry. They're calling for a little rain on Monday and Tuesday, but the amounts they're calling for is about 1/10 of an inch. Hey, it's 1/10 more than we had. I sure wish it was like 2 inches. But I am just amazed at what overwintered and came back on minimal amount of water this spring. It's just amazing to me what a diverse mix can do. And yes, I know a lot of people say, well, there's weeds in here and they're going to go to seed. Yes, perhaps, like the henbit, it's done went to seed. But I'd rather that than this thing been sprayed last fall or early spring and be bare as a baby's butt. Because then all we're doing is losing all this sunlight that we are capturing. We got a little bit of volunteer dandelion there. The cows will eat that. I mean, I don't know if many people know, dandelion is not native to North America. Can't get it out, but look at the size of the taproot on it. If you was to dig on that, it would be probably 10, 12 inches. That's breaking up compaction, folks. Got a little bit of wild onion. They'll eat on that as well. It's just a beautiful, gorgeous morning. So, okay guys, that's what we're doing here right now. I wish I had about another 3 fields like this. It would sure help with the rest of the cow herds. The only downside with this is we're still waiting on, I think there's 6 cows in this herd to calve, and with these haulers and waterways and trees, that's going to get interesting. But it's time to be, we're almost out of hay. It's time for them to be eating on green forage. So anyway, you guys, enjoy your Sunday. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.